This is me, Donavin Davey from Erode, and I'm representing KSR College of Arts and Science Autonomous, Namakkal. So, okay, jokes apart. And if you're wondering what are those things hanging behind me, that's just a set that I used to, organize some things that costed me a lot of money. That's okay. My problems go with me. Okay, so are you ready, future generation members are beautiful, all these kind of categorized people? Are you ready? Because after looking at my speech and listening to my speech, you're gonna feel like, oh my god, tomorrow when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're gonna feel like, oh my god, this guy created an impact. That was funny, isn't it? Okay, jokes apart. So yesterday, when I was having a normal conversation with my friends, I happened to ask them a question. Can you tell me which was the most pleasing 5-lettered word? And when I asked them the question, according to their perceptions and their thinking capacities, I had different answers. Obviously, even though there are thousands of words in the dictionary, I could state only 3. Which was, one guy said smart, and another guy said smile, and another girl said money. I know money. So when I asked them another question, can you tell me which is the most selfish 1-lettered word, they were kind of, thinking grammatically but not practically, which was the most. If you want to know which is the most selfish word, stay tuned, because the most selfish word that I am revealing that now is, I is the most selfish 1-lettered word. This letter is kind of heavy on my hand, and I feel it very heavy. You want to know why it is heavy? Because this is why it is heavy. Selfish? Selfish! Who wrote this? I don't know. Yes, I'm sorry. So this is because why? Because I is so selfish. Why I is so selfish? What kind of I? iPhone, iPad, iPod, and then you can see a poor little father saying I paid for it. That was a joke, I guess. So anyways, therefore, the first concept that I'm introducing in this video is that we are all living a life of super high expectations. Expectations? What kind of expectations? My life, my rules, my likes, my dislikes, my wants, my feelings, my stuff, my and my and my. How selfish is that word I? Therefore, the second concept that I want to introduce in this video is that we as humans have learned how not to give but to take. How not to give but to take. So therefore, when it comes to I want to be treated like this, I should be treated like this, I should be given this, and every time it's I. So selfish. And how bad this I is gone, so that whenever I go to the temple and when I ring the bell, all I do is asking. So therefore, 2017 title winner Ashwini John said that forgiveness is all about saying sorry. She started off by asking a question, can you raise your hands whoever have said sorry in your lives? But I'm not trying to portray whatever she said was wrong, but apart from a person apologizing and feeling sad and feeling sorry, there is something called I. Let me explain. When I wanted to know more and more things about this forgiveness and this I and such things, I approached my mom, because Google doesn't serve the purpose all the time. So I asked my mom. She's a business lady and she knows a lot of stuff. So when I approached her, she said, son, forgiveness means forgetting about the past and forgetting about all the negative perceptions that happened in the past. And therefore I agree to whatever she said, because thinking about the bad things that hurt us, the bad things that stayed in our mind, and thinking how better it could have been is definitely not a very healthy stuff. Healthy people own their own stuff in their own ways. So therefore, so I put it in a very easier form that forgiveness means forgetting about the past, forgetting about all the negative perceptions and forgetting about how better it could have been and coming back to the present. So maybe coming back to the present means accepting it was okay for anything to happen. Is my concept making you assume that it was okay for anything to happen, even if a man has murdered your mother or tried to rape your sister? Is that okay for you to accept that what has happened? No, I'm not a fool. So you're not a fool to do that. So when it comes to forgiveness, let me give you an example. When you take a can of soda and a can of water, when you give it a vigorous amount of shake at the soda bottle, and when you open it up, you all you see is foam gushing out of the bottle, and when you take the same sealed water bottle and you give it a vigorous amount of shake, and when you open it, all you see is nothing. This example is, I admit it, because this example is a very old example, but another concept that I want to tell you is things are everywhere, scattered everywhere. All depends is on how you take things and what things you take in, the input you give to your senses, the input you give to your eyes, the input you give to your ears, the input you take in through your mouth. So I was talking about the I and forgiveness. So let me tell you again, I am speaking about forgiveness. Okay, so I was talking about the soda and the water. So the soda is compared to how people react to things that happen to them. Same thing happens to me. And the water indicates the person responding to the act that had happened to him. It's not in a way that just because I'm speaking about forgiveness and I'm giving you an example of how to deal with forgiveness, it doesn't mean that I do not possess that quality. I don't. Do you think that just because I'm talking about how not to be selfish, I am not selfish? Definitely not. Do you think fathers or priests or gurukals who give daily speeches about forgiveness are spared from this thing called I? Do you think fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, husbands, wife, boyfriends, girlfriends, none of them are spared from this thing called I? I've already given you an example of how when we visit the temple, we ring the bell and all we do is asking. So therefore, when John F. Kennedy became the first president of the United States, when he gave his first presidential address, he said, "Ask not what the country can do for you, but what you can do for the country." What you can do for your country. So therefore, the choice is in your hands, whether you choose to react like the can of soda or you choose to respond like the bottle of water. So therefore, finally I want to tell you is that a great personality is not born in the maternity ward. A great personality is not born in the ICU or through a direct delivery or through a cesarean or through any primitive techniques that I know. Okay. A great personality is born when the choices that he takes. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, if you choose to forgive, expect not what others can do for you. Take a step forward and think how you can do something for others, like how John F. Kennedy said. So therefore, it is up to you whether you choose to react and firm out and kill the person and take revenge on that person who had done something wrong to you, or you choose to forgive that person and deal with the matter what had happened to you. Problems reacting and taking a revenge is not the only solution to a problem. It's a generic principle everybody knows. So therefore, I'm concluding my speech today. Thank you for your patient listening, my dear jury member. I hope to see you in the finals, and all the youngsters out there looking at me, I hope to see you in the finals. Stay tuned. This is Donavin Davey signing off. KSR College of Arts inside Autonomous. Love you.